How's it going? This is Fox back again for sound design tutorials. Today I'm going to be showing you one of my pads from my forthcoming Soundbank for Serum. I've called this pad-9 V Dreamer because both of the wavetables I used began with a V, and it's a dreamy pad. So yeah, as I say, I'm working on a full EDM Soundbank for Serum. There'll be a link in the description when it's finished, where you can buy it from. There's going to be roughly 30 pads, 20 basses, 20 leads, risers, effects and impacts. You're going to be able to use it for many genres. But yeah, for now, this is the sound we're going to be going over today. Really happy with this. Real nice, lush, evolving pad. There you go, nice vocally sort of voxy, airy pad. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this in regards to modulations. Look, you can see in the matrix section, quite a few bits going on. So if I do go over this a bit quickly, you might have to run through it and go back over it again if you want to make the pad exactly. For now, I'm going to go ahead and initialize this. What you get as standard. I'll just say quickly, these chords I'm playing are from A3 to A4. So yeah, the first one I chose was a digital vintage synth. A massive wavetable, loads and loads of different waves. The starting position I had on 118. I pulled this one down 1 octave, -1. Gave it 10 voices of unison, nice big wide pad, and pulled the D tune down to about 10. Everything else I kept as standard. I didn't use any warp mode or anything for this one. I'll go ahead and set all the oscillators up first, and then we'll go through all the modulation afterwards. I'll set all the effects and everything up as well. So yeah, oscillator B was another digital one. It was the Voxu. Starting position for this, wavetable position for this, I had quite further around. About 180. 8 voices of unison for this. Detuned roughly about the same amount. Same again, didn't touch any of the other parameters, no warp mode or anything like that. Sub oscillator I turned on. Sorry, we need to pitch that down 1 octave as well. Sub oscillator I turned on, I had a sine wave. This was down 1 octave as well. Noise. I chose a really unique one here. I think it's in the Organics wind chimes. I'll solo this so you can hear what this sounds like on its own. It's brilliant. It sounds exactly like wind chimes. Pull the level down for now. I modulated this later on. Also modulate the pan for this later on. So we'll set the main envelope up now. I'll give it a nice steady attack around half a second, 500 milliseconds, no hold, sustain on full, decay where it comes as standard, release round to about half a second as well. Just to ease the notes in and then wash the notes out nicely. The filter that I had was just a standard Moog low pass 12 filter, cut off pretty much all the way open, just cutting off the real highs. We'll have both the oscillators and the noise in there, but not the sub oscillator. Just makes it nice and creamy when you put a low pass filter on, just cutting the highs off. Okay, we'll set the effects up, and I say we'll do all the modulation at the end. I had a reverb on there. I generally always put a reverb on a pad, whether it's a small amount, a large amount. Depends on what content you've got inside the pad. This one was a relatively average size, around about 19. Pre-delay, low cut, damp, high cut, and the width, all as they come as standard. I just pulled the mix back so it wasn't overpowering. About the same as the size, 19%. Just helps the notes tail off when you got gaps in between the chords like I have here. The other filter that I used, it's not doing anything. I'll put it on anyway. I chose a Moog low 6 filter, cut off wide open, unless I have got it modulated. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, I've got a macro to it. So yeah, this we'll be using at the later on. At the moment, it's opened fully wide, so the filter's fully open. Fat, drive, resonance, all down at 0, and the mix just shy of full. Okay, that's the basic setup of the sound. So a lot of modulation going on here. I didn't use any envelopes for this. These LFOs are so versatile in this. You can treat them as envelopes with the trigger mode. It really does render the envelopes obsolete. You might as well have had 8 envelopes. But yeah, let's get going then. LFO 1. I had this modulating wavetable position for A and B. So LFO 1, I'll set this to a sine wave, which is one of the basic shapes. BPM was anchored, the trigger mode was set to off, and I set the rate for 2 bars. Just went well with the chords that I got in this particular MIDI clip. I had the rise at 1/64. So we'll use this for the wavetable for A and B. It was very small amounts, +2 on both of them, just to give it a tiny little bit of movement. You can hardly hear it, but you can. Very subtle. Sometimes I do big drastic modulation on it, but these wavetables are that complex, there's that many in there with wide sweeps that I'll show you, it really changes the sound of it. I wanted a nice subtle amount. LFO 2 is the main tool for sculpting this sound. This does pretty much all the work from here on out. This is set to a triangle, which it comes under standard. The BPM is set to anchor and the BPM mode is on. And this one was set to 8 bars. Nice slow modulation. The rise again, set to 64. Okay, this does a lot of things. I've got this on the pan for a few things. I've got it on the pan of the sub oscillator, so it's panning the sub to the sides, and also the pan for the noise. Not too much for the pan. It can start to sound a bit too much if you give it more than sort of that amount, which is plus 50, sort of halfway. I've got this modulating the volume for the noise oscillator, which was just wind chimes, bringing it in and out slowly. I've got it modulating the detune of both oscillators. This is a neat trick. It just helps the sound wider as you get to a certain point. Although this is set to 8 bars, because it's a up and then a down, this is peaking at 4 bars, which these chords are at the minute. So it's going to come to the top for the first chord and then go all the way back down for the second. So yeah, I didn't do it that far. I did it just shy of 12 o'clock. Anything past that, it really starts to sound a bit too messy. Also, let's add this on the wavetable position as well. I add it negative on this one, around about -40, and on the first one we had it positive, about +30. That's probably LFO one we can do away with then. Removable destinations. That's probably why it was on such a small amount. I made this a couple of days ago. I probably forgot. I probably did away with LFO 1 and then used LFO 2. Certainly looks like it. The last destination for this LFO is for the drive for the filter, which is like the input volume into the filter. It's just boosting the volume as it comes toward the end of these chords. Okay, that's pretty much the sound done. Not as much as I thought. So the envelope 2, I must have had it on again and then decided to use an LFO 2. LFO 1 did the same thing, tried it, set up a longer LFO on LFO 2. So yeah, it's just LFO 2 doing all the work. One nice constant slow modulation. The only thing I did do is I set a macro knob to the filter cutoff in the FX section. So drag the macro dial to the cutoff, put it negative to about -60, and I'll call this dampen, because that is exactly what it's going to do. It's going to dampen the sound. If you use this, as you dial this macro knob round, it's going to close this filter off. It's going to make it nice and buttery and a lot smoother, dampen it all down. That's it with it on full, so it's closing the filter up to the maximum modulation amount that we chose. As I bring it back, it's opening the filter up. Really like this pad. You can hear the wind chimes flicking in and out every now and again, just giving it a nice shimmer. But yeah, for now that's it. Nice and straightforward. I say this is going to be pad 9 out of my 20 or so pads within my Serum Soundbank. As I said earlier, there'll be a link in the description when this is finished where you can buy this from. It's going to be on a couple of different sites. I've been in touch with a couple of different people. So yeah, you can pick where you buy it from. Yeah, I made all of these patches pretty much for this new sound set during my live streams. If you want to join in on the live streams and watch me doing sound design off the fly, you can. All you have to do to find out when I'm doing these streams is to like one of my social media pages, whether it's Facebook, Google Plus or Twitter. There'll be links in the description to all of my social media accounts. So yeah, come along, watch me do the live streams. The more the merrier. We have a general chit chat as well. Sometimes I help people out with sounds that they want making. Yeah, but for now that's it. Pad 9 out of my new sound bank. Thanks for watching. Cheers.